Welcome back, guys, to the Super-Duper Duplicant Challenge. In the last episode, we brought 49 more duplicants into this base right here, so now we have 50 duplicants. They have all been surviving around here and doing many things to expand the base, and mostly have been bringing in more oxygen, because oxygen is still the one problem that I have where I simply am not producing quite enough of it. Right now, I'm living on algae a little bit, and I don't want to continue to live on algae, so I have to bring in a lot of hydrogen bubbler systems. The other thing I'm also working on is the sleet wheat farm down here, trying to expand this and also keep it cool enough so that the sleet wheat can grow. And you can see right there I have a little bit of problem going on with the stiffening because things are a little bit too hot. So those are the two things that I'm working on right there. For the keen eye viewers, those guys have been wondering, why does that look different? And I didn't see this last time. Well, I'm gonna admit it. Last night, I spent about 2 hours talking to myself. I thought I was recording, but as it turns out, I wasn't recording at all. So I just ended up talking to myself. So that's what's going on right there. And so we jump into the game a few cycles ahead of where we were last time. However, the only things that have really happened here is that I've been restructuring the sleet wheat farm so that I can, you know, have this be a little bit more structured. And I'm also bringing in some more gas to this area because the pressure was really low, and I feel like the weezeworts weren't, they didn't have enough gas to work with in order to cool down, or something's going on here where these weezeworts are simply not cooling enough. So right now I'm trying to put one weezewort for every of these sleet wheats right here, and I'm kind of experimenting around with that. I've also dug up a few more down here and, you know, tried to explore more areas to get more weezeworts. The big thing though has been the hydrogen system. I'm using that same pattern that I used up here. However, I made a few modifications using some more gas permeable tiles. That increases the effectiveness of this electrolyzer up here so that it runs a little bit longer. However, these still continue to work, and they do produce oxygen, which is all good and dandy. The big thing though is that I'm more or less living off of these algae deoxidizers. If I run out of algae, I'm gonna run out of oxygen and people are gonna die. However, I am continuing to expand that system and make it work right there. So I've got another unit going in right there. I put in a unit here at the top. So most of that is just hydrogen up there, and I might continue to expand that. I got rid of the hydro hoods. I decided to go away from that. These seem to be running quite well. This system down here in the bottom right isn't running all that great, but it is functioning to produce more oxygen. The other thing is that stress has gone up a little bit, but it hasn't gone completely crazy. What I'm doing here for stress is that I'm using the massage tables in a staggered format. So I have, I think 3 or 4 of these massage tables set up at 35, and then the rest of them are set up at 50. So what I'm trying to do is keep the mean of the stress levels actually down. So as this game has progressed, about 50% of the duplicants continue to have their stress levels, you know, more or less go up a little bit, especially as I keep throwing them into the horrible places like this pit of slime up here, or, you know, make them dig around in places where they cannot breathe. I mean, my gosh, trying to dig up this stuff down here was a real trip, because this is all carbon dioxide down here because there's just simply no oxygen. Everybody's holding their breath. So the stress has gone up because of that. And unfortunately, there's been a couple of tragedies that has happened in the last, you know, 7 cycles or so. Unfortunately, Stinky here succumbed to oxygen deprivation, and what happened is he was down here. He was digging for this weezewort over there, but unfortunately fell asleep. He was a narcoleptic, and there was no oxygen around, so he died. However, the more interesting death was Nicola here. Now, Nicola, we didn't necessarily see what happened, but we just found him dead down here in the sleet wheat farm, all by himself, and I feel like the evidence points towards an entombing. There was an attempted murder on one of the Meeps over here in the hydrogen system, so I believe we have an entomber in our midst. So we have to see if we can find the murderer. There is one person in here that's trying to kill off the other duplicants. So far, he's targeted Nicola and Meep, so that's something to keep an eye out for. Okay, so this system over here is coming together quite well, and we can see that the pump is on when it shouldn't be on. So I can actually finish off this piece right here and close it in. So this is, you know, this plan has worked out quite well. What I've done is I've expanded the a little bit of space down here below these electrolyzers, just so that there's more tiles for that oxygen to then move into. That should allow it to function a little bit better. As far as the food goes, I've actually had to turn the production down quite a bit. You can see the food there is 272 calories, and 1,000 calories, and I don't want to make too much, so I'm actually shutting down the cooking stations every once in a while. I want that number to actually start to go down, because trying to store too much food is just not really going to work. So these up here are going to be 8, I believe. Are they functioning? I don't know. They are plugged in, and I am sending quite a bit of power around everything. So the grid is becoming complex. Oh my gosh! What happened here? Aha! We have found him! Travoldo! We found our murderer. Alright, let me go ahead and deconstruct this. My gosh, look at this guy. He's trying to kill off all my duplicants. Alright, we gotta watch this Travoldo guy. I mean, look at that. Good job, Meep. You know what it's like to be stuck, entombed and everything right there. That was close. I nearly lost him. Oh, no. Travoldo. Where'd you go, man? He's trying to flee. We're gonna name Travoldo here. Travoldo, the murderer. What's a good name for Travoldo here? He's the Entomber? No. The Undertaker. Good old WWE. Oh. That was back in the day. Alright. Travoldo, the Undertaker. That's the one to watch out for. Alright, well at least we survived the Undertaker. Whew. That would have been bad. 3 more deaths? I don't have space for 3 more over here. I'd have to dig some more stuff out. I know, or maybe I have to move my compost pile. Or the hatch. The hatch has got a spot right there. Do you think I have enough morbs? Oh, there's my oxygen production right there. All I got to do is turn it into clean oxygen, right? Maybe that's the plan. Certainly not going to happen tonight, though. Okay, so I need to make sure that I'm continuing to increase, you know, my hydrogen production here. So I either have to deal with this polluted water, or I have to deal with the chlorine over here. One of the two is going to become a problem. Either spot, I don't have enough space for the equipment I need. Well, technically, I guess I could work around this polluted water, so I guess I'll do that. You know, I think I might just pump this water out. I don't think it's that hard to do, so I'll just go ahead and put a little ladder in here. I've already got power over there, so no big deal. It's a bit of an expedition, but sometimes you just gotta make it happen. Alright, so for a little while now, I've been running this gas pump, and I've actually just been pumping some of the carbon dioxide out of this space down here that I've been, you know, I normally use for power, and I've been pumping it over here to try to make this area potentially have enough carbon dioxide so that it could cool down. That has also been introducing quite a bit of hot gases to that space. So, that's one of the things that's been going on there. Still, I think this will work. Just given enough time and enough wheeze-warts and all that good stuff. You can see down here that this has gotten cold enough, so all of this is starting to work. How about that? Maybe this sort of crazy strategy is working out. Or maybe not. At some point here, one of the things I want to do is start recycling this polluted water. So right now, if you look at my liquid system, the polluted water comes out of here and gets drained down into this area, which is just a big blob of a lot of polluted water. So at some point, I want to connect in both the hot water over here so that I can start using that instead of these pools of water. And then I want to take the polluted water and kind of maybe use it to cool down my large farm over here, because I can process that into fertilizer and then into power and kind of actively cool it down. Not to mention it has some thermal capacity inside of it because it's 20 degrees Celsius and just a lot of water. Another project for another time. Another thing that I've read from your guys' comments here in a couple of different forms or fashions is that you want me to try to build a base like this, or maybe not necessarily like this, just large scale, but one that has a lot of these really complex systems in it that we've been doing all these experiments over these last several episodes, this entire series now. And try to fit that all into one base. Now, I think I'm going to hold off on that for a little while just because this is the Super-Duper Duplicant Challenge, and in the next update, they're going to introduce some more stuff that has to do with diseases and stuff like that. So I think at that point, that would be a really good point to kind of, a good jumping off spot to try the new systems and see how that all works out, and also build the mega base, which is going to be a little bit smaller quantity as far as duplicants go, you know, maybe 5 to 25 or so in that range, whatever it really takes, but a lot of really complex self-powering systems, kind of like this generator down here. But you know what, rather than stopping with one natural gas generator, what about like 3, you know, some stuff on a different scale like that. So I think that's a really fun idea for a series. And eventually we'll get there, but I don't know, we'll see. There's also a lot of modding support for this game at some point, so I think that'll be cool to see what people come up with there to kind of include that. You know, there's plenty of opportunities for this game. I just continue to hope that they develop this game and continue to develop it on a fairly quick basis. I think it's a really good game, and I've enjoyed it thus far. And it's one of these games that I'm already about 250 hours into, and I still enjoy it just like I did at the very beginning, so I think that's pretty awesome. There's not many games where I get, you know, this far into it and think, yeah, you know what, I'm still, you know, really addicted to it. But this is one of those games where that's truly is the case. Look at my stress. It's low. Look at that. Down to 0%. What's going on here? People aren't suffocating? Is that what's going on? I'm still not producing a lot of oxygen. Algae is continuing to go down. I only have 10,000 kilograms now. It's about half of what I had, I don't know, 10 cycles ago. The sleet wheat farm is actually starting to produce sleet wheat, so that's good. All right, let's try another expedition down here. We gotta dig this up. Trying to get on over here. This is where Stinky died. He died right there, unfortunately. How's temperature doing now that I turned off that heater? Oh, cold is starting to find its way in here. Although it's kind of warm on this side, but not too bad. Okay, some of the other games that I've been playing here recently, I tried out the Destiny 2 beta, and you know what? It was Destiny with a little bit more polish on it. So I liked the original Destiny. However, I'm glad that I waited for several expansions to come out because, well, it's kind of a shooting gallery game. The story, I couldn't even tell you what the story was about. I'm not a big fan of the multiplayer, so I probably won't pick up Destiny 2 right off the bat, or, you know, just jump right into it sort of thing. I've also been playing Fortnite, and that game is fun, and it's continuing to get better as I get further into the game. It's got kind of a slow start to it as far as, you know, the very, tutorial through the very noobish levels. It's really, you know, almost too easy in that it isn't quite as much fun, but once you get farther into it, it's actually quite a bit of fun. So I'm starting to get to the point where suddenly I'm starting to feel a little bit more challenged, and that's making it a lot more interesting from just a general gameplay standpoint. But it's a good game, kind of a fun casual game to get in there and play with your friends and go around and do stuff. So I like that game. That's been good. Oh! Good job, Meep. Alright, there's a little bit of breathable oxygen in here, so we can actually get to this Wheezewort. And there's another Wheezewort down here with another seed. That's good. What are you doing, Meep? You're just standing there. Standing in a spot where you're trying to turn yourself into an ice cube? A Meepsicle? No, I don't think so. Come on, bro. Nope. What? All you have to do is dig it. Just dig it, Meep. Dig it. What was that all about? I think Meep is royally confused here. He doesn't know what's going on. There you go. sometimes, I tell you what. What? Oh, you quitters. Harold, dude, how'd you find yourself over there? Alright, so you have sedimentary rock available. Lucky you, Harold, you can build yourself to freedom. There you go. Harold, don't you know how to build stuff? You're the one Harold here that doesn't know how to build stuff. Well, it sucks to be you. You're gonna have to just hang out there for a little while. It seems like the duplicants have found a decent strategy. Come over here, breathe in a little bit of poo gas, and then go back down to digging. It's gotta be good for the stress level. Change per cycle, 60%. Well, that ought to stress him out. Holy moly. Oh, come on. Oh, but now she made a mess. Oh, Joshua. Now you made a mess too. Well, I guess that's gonna be more polluted oxygen. Oh, and bubbles too. Oh, this is getting terrible down here. You know what? Let's just forget that. That thing is just not gonna work. This has to be like the worst working condition possible. You're suffocating, you have to walk through your own piss, and the oxygen you get to breathe is polluted. Look at this poor duplicant. Harold, not only did he get stuck up here, you know, all by himself, and then not be able to build himself to freedom, now he got stuck with the manual generator. This poor guy just gets all the worst jobs. Seriously, these three duplicants are still down here. Bubbles, Lyria, Joshua. You gotta be kidding me. Alright, we're gonna move you out of here just because you've just... What? Can you not get out? Let's see what happens. I've now directed them to find freedom. See? They can do it if they want to. And they were just being a little bit slow right there. They just didn't quite understand. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing. If I look at this Wheezewort here, we'll see that the temperature at the top of it is kind of, you know, negative some degrees Celsius. And below it, one tile below it, right at the base of the Wheezewort, you can see that there's some gas there, and that gas is constantly moving. If I look over here to this Wheezewort, you can see that it's a vacuum, so there's nothing going on there. If I look at this one, also a vacuum. Above it, warmer gas. So I think that's what's going on here as far as the amount of pressure in this area, is that these Wheezeworts are pulling a vacuum, and therefore they're not providing cooling. If we look down here near the bottom, this is a vacuum, but above it, I can see the temperature is still a little bit cooler. So I'm not sure we're getting all that cooling action just because there isn't enough gas of whatever type in there. I'm not 100% sure on that. I've also, I'm mopping this stuff up here. You can see this is going crazy. I think what was going on here was that there was just enough liquid to where people didn't think that they could go down here in order to sweep this thing up. So they got stuck that way. Harold's got it. Hey, don't get stuck, bro. This one's a death. Oh, he gave up. Harold! What the heck, man? Ready? Do you have what it takes to sweep this up? Come on. Nope. It's just like a little bit too far. I have a lot of duplicants that are... Oh, they're currently idle. So I'm gonna give them something to do here. Let's just dig up all this algae here. It doesn't seem like I'm gonna be able to get a lot of hydrogen running all that quickly. So I might as well just get as much algae as I can. So we'll just, we'll get them, make a bunch of miners and have them continue to run that way for a little while. Harold, are you kidding me? Dude, you got yourself stuck again. What am I gonna do with you, Harold? How does one duplicant manage to do this twice? There's 50 people here, but you, my friend, have a knack for getting stuck. Oh, this seems like a great idea. Yeah, how many people can I shove into here just to breathe what is basically no oxygen? All of this for a Wheezewort. However, there is a lot of abyssalite down here that I can harvest up if I need to. So there's a good amount of digging I can do. Oh, hey look! Harold! Harold, buddy! You got the one thing that nobody else could get. And that's the Wheezewort. Good job, man. Way to be the star of the show. Ooh, there's Wolframite over here too. So there's a lot of good reasons to come over here. Oh, Harold, that must have been your twin. Your successful twin. Because you're still stuck. Oh my gosh, it looks like you're turning into a zombie. You know, now I'm gonna have to get rid of the Thimbleweed just to get you out? Is that all this is? Okay, come on, somebody save Harold. If not, he's gonna die. Bubbles. Way to be a team player. And you're free! Way to be free. Oh, I tell you what, guys, I can keep playing this game forever, but at some point, I gotta stop, I gotta go to bed. So this is where I'm gonna call it tonight. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for all of your support recently. It's been absolutely awesome, even though I'm tongue-tied. In my last video here, you guys gave me 250 likes before one person gave a dislike, so thank you guys so much for that. The support is absolutely just amazing. I don't think I've ever had support like this, so thank you guys so much for that. Have a wonderful day, and continue to stay awesome. If I've earned your subscription, then thank you so much for that. Stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar out.